What's up, world? This is Real Talk Boxing Live, episode 19. A little technical difficulty, so we had to go back at it this way. Good job. Yeah. You blame me, it's fine. Whatever.
We're at Matt's Tex Mix in Lakewood, 1904 Skillman Street, Dallas, Texas, 75206. That's one location. They have another location in Garland on 5085 North George Bush Freeway, Garland, Texas, 75040. And once again, that's Matt's Tex Mix.
Again, make sure you're following Real Talk Boxing on all social media. Like I say, if you can't find it, Google it. You can see that logo, you know it's us. Now go to realtalkboxing.net, top right corner. It has all the links. As of last show, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, anywhere you can find a podcast. Make sure you download it. If you go to iTunes, give us 5 stars. Nobody else, I guess, can rate. That's on iTunes. Leave a little comments.
No, yeah.
I don't know we had all these type of podcasts. I just thought it was just iTunes podcast. But then you started mentioning all these type of things. Like, what the hell?
You have to put on pretty much everything to make it get seen.
Yeah.
They can search the RSS that I sent you. They can search iTunes, even on any podcast thing, and they can download it. But yeah, you have to pretty much upload it. Like I said, I gotta wait till this episode, and I can put it on Spotify. There has to be certain requirements to get on somewhere.
A lot of people are asking if they want to be on Spotify.
Yeah.
On Spotify, right?
Like different things have to require different things, but once we got approved by iTunes, it was easier to get everything else because once we did like Google, it was fast, and then I can't remember what else was. Stitcher was like within minutes we got it back.
Yeah.
That we're good to go. Our guest today is In the Ring with Christine Lopez. It's an honor for us to have her. Since me and my bro first started this, she was around. She's been in the DFW area. I don't know how long, but we'll get to that part. We won't answer right now.
But the most exciting part is that she's a cut woman.
Yeah,
she's a cut woman. That's one thing I want to ask.
That's why when we first met her, she was working the corners. She still works the corners now. Yes, in the ring, not anywhere else.
In the ring. That's the name.
But yeah, so she was, and then within the last couple of years, she switched to the media part. But she knows, again, a lot of background behind boxing itself, so it's very knowledgeable in that part. Even with, she knows the local fighters. I said before, me and bro, she knows, even when they were kids, a lot of the ones now, when they were kids, saw them growing up, so she knows a lot of it these days.
18 plus years.
Yeah. Well, I just want to tell you thank you too, because me and bro start off. You showed us a lot of love, and you're just humble as heck. You and your family and all the fighters and everybody. So I just want to tell you thank you. So we appreciate you and everything.
Coach Haas, he's in here today.
Yes, good man.
Very knowledgeable about boxing.
I've seen him work in a lot of corners.
Yeah,
not just for amateur but for professionals. I've seen him work in a lot of corners. So. It's good to get different perspectives.
Yeah, I've seen y'all even when I guess people came out of town, they didn't have any corner people. Y'all easily say, "Yeah, I'll do it for you."
I saw that too.
But it's a little that scenario is a little harder to come into because you're like you know nothing about this dude, but you're like, "Hey, can you help me?" I'm trying to one of y'all worked, and the guy said that he had back issues and he ended up having a back spasm or something during the fight, so he couldn't fight. Different times I've seen y'all in there, different parts. But again, the first time I met y'all was. Probably all I had cards, and I think it's funny because going back and looking at it, he had at one time he had Sam McCluskey on a card, he had y'all's kids, he had Maurice Hooker on a card. I was like, man, the same. When you look at the lineup, he had a lot of local talent in there before, before other promoters came around. But I remember him promoting a lot of cards.
We can call those the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. But even back then, there was still a lot more local promotions starting back then compared to it is now. You might get a fight here and there, but
I want to start my promotion now.
You should. Why not?
But you know what? Like what he's saying, like before I forget, because I forget a lot of stuff every now and then. But when we had about almost a year ago, when we had our round table.
Yes.
You know, he kept on saying, both of them kept on saying, I want to have Christine and Nacho from True Head Boxing because they're the first ones that helped y'all start this. So that he's always like, so why are we going to do Christine's? Like, I always ask at the back on why we're doing the show, what's the motivation. He said, man, she's always been showing love to us. She's always been support, so we support who supported us. I'm like, okay.
That's it.
It's always been like that. They've been telling me that.
Yeah, so what's your social media for everybody can look you up?
It's In the Ring with Christine.
Okay, so it's on Facebook, Instagram,
it's on
Twitter.
Instagram.
I think Twitter's a little bit differently. It's In the Ring C or something like that.
Yes.
Like it's too long. It's a little bit longer of a title, so yeah. We get that part. It's
In the Ring C.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the
That's what it is.
And also on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
We are on SoundCloud.
And YouTube.
Yes. And YouTube. Yes, please follow my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I saw. I'm watching some of the videos on there. It's pretty good. Over a couple hundred views on some of them for just starting out. It's great.
Yes, thank you. Really excited. It seems like we've taken off very quickly.
Yeah.
Which is such a blessing.
That's
really,
right.
I have a great team, and they're amazing.
Well, you
They're
wanna
very
give them-
talented. Yes, I do. I want to give them a shout out. I have Gonzo, and I have Walter Johnson, and it's Gonzo. jgonzo.com, and then I have Walter Johnson at. Come on, Walter, help me out.
He's busy with the chips.
WJJ Photos, and the music part of it is Sound Like Media. Come on, I told you I need a cue card.
Yeah, because you were telling me just the backstory on him was he's been helping a lot of different things with photography for a lot of different
his
people.
resume is very long, and so is Gonzo's. I would definitely need notes. But Gonzo told me I can no longer use notes, so yeah, there we are. And then of course I have my husband, who also has a very long resume and has been doing this for very many years. So I'm stacked with talent.
That's great. That's great. One thing we're going to discuss, Jaden gets to put his input on the Canelo fight, the Cowboy game. He was the Cowboy game, which is a tradition.
Yeah, it's a traditional thing for me and one of my boys that we've been going for at least 5, 6, or 7 years.
Oh, okay.
Straight. So it's always been, and then I really want to put my input on the fight because I guess, well, I'm not guess, but it was. I can tell you that it was a blessing for us boxing fans, and I was listening to podcasts, I was listening to YouTube comments, I was obviously the trollers, everybody. I really didn't take people's comments on Facebook too serious, or people who don't have too much knowledge of boxing. But I try to read out what they say. But I can just say if we could just stop and just see how grateful we were for this match. It's been a while that we paid a certain amount of money to watch a boxing match like this. When was
It was free for me.
Yeah, like you said, it was
I was
free.
in Mexico.
You were in Mexico. I didn't know that until I went like a few years ago. I was like, yeah, we're always watching the film. It's like, man, so I get to pay all this.
$100 for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I just want to touch base on that. Just say how blessed we were to see a match where two boxers would fulfill, like, the capacity of skills were very high. The chins were amazing. The skills were just, I mean, I just couldn't, I was just amazed and I just lost at how much this fight was just great for all of us. And
Triple G's body.
yeah,
I'm taking those body shots.
but let's just give props to Canelo because I mean he did what they asked him to do. He changed his fight style. He stood in the ring and he didn't stay there to get hit that much. And he was just boxing and just using his defense. There was just some little trick that I was noticing when I was doing slow motion when he would when Triple G would kind of lower down his left hand to throw a jab. Canelo really knew what to do with his right hand to kind of just move out of the motion so he wouldn't get hit. He would come over with an uppercut, then a hook, and then a straight to the head. It was just a brilliant skills of boxing.
You know what made the difference was coach strategy. That's what made the difference.
Exactly.
They came, they studied the fight, they did their research, and then they prepared the fight knowing exactly what Triple G was going to do. So they knew that what hand he was going to counter with, so that way Canelo didn't get hit much because he was prepared.
Exactly. Now, when I first scored it, when I was watching it live, when I was listening to them talk, it was just, I didn't have in my house some, the casual fans, the Triple G fans, the Canelo fans, and then me, I was just like, I'm not gonna chip, but I was aiming more for Canelo to win because I've followed him since he started. But I honestly had it as a tie the first time. I honestly had it as a tie.
The first fight?
No, right now.
Okay,
The second one.
okay.
The second one. I had it as a tie, but there was at least 2 rounds that I said, man, I don't know about this 2 rounds that they could have gone either way. But then when I watched it again, I watched it this time with the volume down, watched it in the perspective of being a Triple G fan, or seeing what he, just watching him as being in the corner. I just can't admit that he won that fight. I think it was very, very close. Now, one of the arguments a lot of people are saying is, will we see a third fight? There's been a couple of times big fights like this that the opponent has just, walked away. I'm not gonna do it the embarrassment again by the judges because Triple G can't win. He's over here in this country. Because if you look at Ward Kovalev said the same thing, man. Us European fighters, not enough to get the win over here in Vegas, especially going with an American in the nation of America. Something I didn't think about. You didn't see that because it's kind of rare to see that at times. The last one we've seen was what? I mean,
well, I think the only difference is Canelo being from Mexico and him having the stigma of the scandal of the what it's called butyrol, and then Triple G being the favorite in Vegas. I think that he probably didn't have that pressure. He didn't feel that I'm not going to get the judges' favor. I really believe that Triple G thought that he won. So I don't think that he had that pressure. I think that he really felt that he won. I really do. I personally was personally not going for Canelo.
But you said you don't want your husband to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
A
lot of stuff that I heard. Yeah.
But I will say that I did score it 15-13 like my husband, and I really did think Canelo won. I did. Now I think that there would be a third fight because I do believe that Triple G did think that he won the fight. And I think that sometimes pride and that machismo of his trainer gets in the way. And there are a lot of fans did feel that Triple G won. I mean, you saw, even some of the media, some of the ex-pro fighters.
I'm guilty as charged also.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I have a 115, 113.
Canelo?
Sure, no, Triple G. Triple G. But, it's hard because people have a different view on things. And just,
I respect that. But because even some, like I said, even some ex-world champs, they thought he won too.
Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah, exactly.
He was very vocal.
He was very
Well, because when Paulie came here to the States when he won that fight, I was just moving around doing some work, and I got Paulie Malignaggi's number, the Magic Man, and since then we've stayed in touch weekly. We talk, and I send him sometimes, hey, look what me and him are talking about, and because I love to learn more about the sport. You can never stop learning the sport.
No. Nobody knows everything.
Yeah, so he had it as Golovkin winning.
Right.
Malignaggi had it as him winning, and there was rounds that he was like, man, I don't know, this is kind of close, and he was like, I think he's going to win for Triple G. But I want to touch back to what you said about that Triple G won. I was listening to some interviews and I was reading some information where they were saying that Triple G's body language prior and after the fight was not the same for the first fight. What I mean, his body language didn't show too much excitement before and didn't show any after. As you as a trainer, as both of y'all have been training before, sometimes you can accept it, man. You know what? We lost that fight, and we're just gonna admit that we lost that fight. Abel Sanchez, he can clearly say it, and he won, and everything he did leading to that fight for almost a year was all a mental game. The gloves, the hand wrapping, the stay in the middle of the ring and fight. Your fans want
the judges.
Your fans want you to do it. If you don't do it, why are you going for Canelo? Everything that he wanted, Canelo did it, and that's how I can sincerely say that Canelo won the fight. Barely.
So, that's why he couldn't argue after the fight, because he had to take his loss, take his L, and go on, because he got everything he wanted. He got the judges, the rap, the gloves, everything he wanted. He got. So when he lost, he can't do it but take the L and keep it moving, man. Because
I'm not gonna critique Triple G leaving the ring after the fight and not doing an interview. If you've been a competitive sport and you lose something where you know you've given your all, you worked all your life for amateurs, and you left the country and you want to show the world what you are, but you can't win because of the judges, I wouldn't say either. Marquez did the same thing when he lost to Pacquiao the first fight. Do you remember that? I don't blame him. But it's just like I said, the body language just did show a lot of Triple G's and his attempt.
And I can also say, from a cut person's woman's perspective, you have to go back and you have to kind of get fixed up, almost like you're doing your makeup. It's like your cut person has to go back and kind of make sure you're not looking too bad before you do your interview. We have to make sure that the cuts and the bruises don't get out of hand before you get in front of the camera.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So no, they might have said, hey, don't get in front of the camera yet. Let me make sure you look okay, and then you can go back and do the interview.
Yeah.
And
that could be another
perspective.
Pinpoint. That some people don't know.
I think they talked about that on I forgot what podcast I was listening to, but they talked about that, how it's cut. They were like, are you sure you have to get stitches right then and there instead of worrying about
you just
the interview?
Never know. I mean, the thing that goes on in a corner and in a locker room. They're so sacred.
Exactly.
You know, and not everybody needs to know what's going on.
Exactly. And but I was telling them that Listo Gaitan, I know you've
Yes,
heard him before,
love him.
him and his coach,
Definitely.
Coach Narco, shout out to him, and I
Yes,
always give them a shout out to
them,
him,
his
Hector and
father.
Listo.
Yes.
His last fight, I think you were doing in the corner for someone in Casa Boxeo, right?
Yes, I was. Christine happened to be in Belize, and so there was two fights, and that was the Montoya show and then the Casa Boxeo show. So I went and helped at that particular show. So I was right in the corner whenever this was fighting.
Yeah, like that fight, like I say, like as being in the corner, like you really gotta take care of your fighter. You gotta watch everything, like so for Lisa, like I was supposed to be there for us and just do a meetup, but then when they asked me, hey, can you be part of our corner? So I don't have experience, but I want to learn. But let's go for it. So my focus was like, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about anything else but Listo's state of mind.
Yeah.
His atmosphere. Anything happens, I want. Oh, he needs water. Okay, I'm gonna go there right now. He needs this. I'm gonna go there right now.
Exactly.
Anything else? And like when there's a game plan, his dad was saying something, Hector was saying something, I was saying something different. I forget, hey, don't forget, once the building, by the time you're walking back, already start trying to control your breathing, so you sit there and you kind of live more calm. Just stuff like that we're telling him. So yeah, it's just beautiful when you have all that team and people, he's just holding the store. It's more than that.
It is.
It's more than that. It really is. So
everybody's job is very important.
yeah, so I mean the fight, I would love to see a third one to clear out the smoke.
But do you think Canelo's gonna let that happen with? I guess it's the biggest fight he can make money off of right now.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. We have to remember it is a business. It is a business at the end of the day. It's about making money. And if there's money to be made, they're gonna make the money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think
What now? Will you watch it?
would I watch it? Yes, I would watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense, and it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen in Canelo's turn.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not gonna happen. I'm thinking it's gonna be about the same date next year.
Yeah, and then I think Canelo this time will be a little bit more electrifying because this is the third time he's gonna fight him, and Triple G has not changed his stance for the
Still the
last
same.
20 years of his life. He has the same type
And
of.
he's getting older.
You know one thing.
30, he looked like a 36-year-old boxer.
You know one thing though. I'm not a Canelo fan by any means. The one thing I can tell you that guy has every single fight gets better than the fight before.
Canelo, yeah.
His defense is amazing. His counterpunching, his speed, his power, the
Found
way
some
he controls the ring. In this fight, if you were to give Canelo the fight just because he walked Triple G back, you can say that. And so in boxing, it's all about perspective. It's what the judges see.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we mainly with the amateurs, for example, we teach the guys about the corners, for example. So you have 5 different judges, right? So you teach the guy, okay, whenever you in this side, you have to make sure that at least 3 judges can see you. How do you do that? You control the center of the ring, right? And you have to have your fighter face his back facing the ropes, so your punches look cleaner. Even if he's hitting you, you look in control. Use the fact that you control the center. So those are the things that in boxing matters. And a lot of people, the casual fans, don't understand, or even people that have been in media and all this stuff, they don't understand that part. There is more than just punching, and there's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of things they have to teach you guys.
Jabs don't win fight the entire fight,
And I agree with you, and I think that's one of the things that the Magic Man was complaining. He had a fight years ago, if you guys remember, he had a fight where he lost, and he landed the most jabs he could ever have. But the problem is that, for example, with the Canelo fight, Triple G landed some jabs, but not as many as everybody was claiming.
Yeah.
Yes, Triple G threw a lot of jabs, but didn't land because his hands were up. In order to have a point, it has to be a clean shot with a force behind it. That's the description of the jab.
It's the key to open everything.
Yes, exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, if he puts his hands up and touch his arms while the jab is going, there's no point. So you know what I'm saying? So yes, he did throw a lot of jabs, not all of them can.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that I learned from my old coach that the judges are not going to see the jab if it just hits right here. And sometimes when you really get the experience, you can throw the jab, but you can just wave it away with just use this or just barely touch it like that. Just touch it. And Canelo was doing that. Canelo, because you could tell that like Triple G, you could read his stance, and everybody was even his corner.
And then you see Canelo landing his jabs. And he landed jabs in Triple G used fly back. I'm like, that's a difference in the jab.
I think the biggest difference of the fight was the work on the body.
Oh man.
Canelo did more work on the body than the first time, and that is what weighted
Yeah.
the warning down. And that's what I told someone. And I was telling my dad, because me and my dad is he loves to watch fights, but not as much as I do. And he'll watch when, you know, like there hasn't been a Mexican I look forward to watch since Chavez. And he's like, yeah, Oscar, yeah, you know, it's a long history between that because
Mexican
Oscar,
American don't count.
yeah, Mexican and American don't count. And he beat Chavez, so I'm not too happy with him, but. It's been a while for my dad. The last time I think we watched together was the Marquez versus Pacquiao fight. Because he's like, you know, I'm not into it. But this time we watched it, I was telling him, man, you know, just pay attention how you have to break him down like a tree, chop him down like a tree. And he was just hitting with the body, just hitting with the
But
body. And
I'll
every
tell you
time
what,
he hit, he was coming
his
over the top.
conditioning had to be like A+ on point because those body shots would have crumbled anybody else.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, his
hats
conditioning
off to
had to
him.
be, yeah, seriously.
Well, we're here having another conversation.
I know he was peeing some blood. What do y'all think? Was he peeing blood or what?
Yeah.
But I mean, those body punches, trust me, you'll feel them for like about a month. No,
Man,
seriously, you will feel them
seriously.
after a month. And
Yeah.
then for amateur, we're using like what, 12 ounces?
Yeah.
10, 12, but then imagine for the pros using the 10 ounces, man, you feel those. You really do feel those.
The professional gloves and amateur gloves they're designed different.
Okay.
The professional gloves are, even though they're the same size, are designed with less padding, more not, you know, they're looking. It's for show, right?
The amateur is a little bit more padding.
They're more
over
padded.
here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's more padding, but I think we were blessed to have this fight.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Like I said, it's been a while that we all haven't seen a fight. And like, you know, we used to pay to watch. All of us, or some of us, paid to watch Mayweather, and he would always tell us that he will fight, and he would stay in the ring, and they'll go to toe to toe, but he never did. So this time, I felt I got my money's worth. And I had it in my house, I had it with my friends and my family, and I said, man, this fight was worth every single penny dollar for the $84.99 that I paid HD, and I recorded it just to watch it again later.
So,
But
what about Munguia? You guys? You
Munguia,
guys like Munguia?
Yeah, he looks good.
What do you guys think? Is he going to be the next thing?
he has a heavy hand, I'll tell you that much.
He has to fight some. He's only what,
He has a
20?
chance. That's,
He's a-
you see, you can have a good punch. Like for example, the kid from England, what's his name?
Joshua.
No. The 147. Dang, I just went blank. Who can punch and has a lot of speed, but no chin.
Oh, Amir.
Amir Khan.
Yeah, Amir
There you
Khan,
go.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Here,
So,
no glass chin.
and those things you don't teach or you don't. I mean, you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And sadly, he doesn't. So Munguia has both. He
Yeah.
can take a shot. He can land a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still got some. He just started now. He's only
Yes,
20, so I mean, he's
He's
got
2021.
21. Yeah, he's
Yes,
really young.
I think that he'll benefit from some different coaches.
Yeah.
I think the kid needs somebody with a lot of amateur experience. Virgil Hunter will be a really good coach for him.
Yeah.
He's got the aggression already. He's got the power puncher already. He's got the will already. He just needs to turn up his defense, and I think he'll benefit somebody at that level with that quality of as a defense technician like Virgil Hunter.
Great, what is it? Great offenses or great defense too.
Yeah, another thing I was going to say before we leave that subject about the Canelo fight, do you think, because obviously that was, well, Canelo, from what I hear, he's got to fight December 15th. They're saying David Lemieux, and then they're saying, but that's saying that's both of their last fights on HBO. So you think they'll go somewhere else, or?
I think Showtime is more for the upcoming boxers who are trying to make a name, like Thurman and Porter and Errol Spence. I think that's Showtime is like
Yeah.
if you talk about Showtime, ring a bell is Porter, Errol Spence, Mikey
Mike
Garcia,
Showtime. Yeah.
and these other fighters. I think HBO. When you think of HBO, I think of Canelo. I think of these type of fighters. So I don't think she'll leave. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, it's all about money.
At the end of the day,
Well, they're saying that every ESPN can get pay per views. They're saying every other outlet, Fox can get a pay per view. They're saying anybody can get out pay per view. They put them on pay per view.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nowadays anybody pretty much
Yeah.
can do pay-per-view. So even I think ESPN can do pay-per-view.
Yeah, they're saying ESPN can do pay per
Yeah,
views.
yeah.
So I
If
thought
y'all-
Plus.
But if y'all remember back in the day, remember Floyd went to jail. Floyd came out of jail. He made that big old deal with Showtime, with the Showtime when he was an HBO fighter.
Yeah.
So it's possible. It could happen. Like you said, money talks,
Yeah.
bullshit walks. So that's what it is. So I think,
Money don't make no money.
yeah. I think I saw Bob Aarons one was talking about it, trying to get Canelo and Triple G to jump ship and come over to ESPN. Like they had got Klitschko now. Klitschko, not Klitschko. I'm sorry, Kovalev.
Yeah, Kovalev.
He was a show HBO fighter. Now he's fighting on ESPN. February 2nd.
February 2nd, supposed to be here
in Frisco.
The star in Frisco.
So
rematch. Yeah, Alvarez rematch.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be here at the start. Yeah.
So that's the fight that we're here. It's funny.
No, there's another one too.
Dan Raphael reported that one.
They have a date reserved here in March.
So it's there's a lot of things that you have to see.
Yeah.
So I was looking through Christine's Facebook, and I saw that. So I was looking through it, and there's somebody that I know that we know. There's in Mexico. That does a lot of them. He brings a lot of fighters.
Okay.
As opponents, he brings them here. And he was requesting names, requesting people.
We're like,
and I'm like, something is happening. And he says Dallas. And he said the weights and everything. I was like, okay, something is happening. And I told her, I said, listen, there's a big fight coming up. But we looked it up online. There's nothing.
Yeah,
so now that you say that makes
Dan Raphael put it out there. It was going to be February 2nd here. Okay. And then also, as I said, March 16th, I think that THB, which is Earl Spence's promoter, they have a date reserved here in Arlington. So I don't know if Earl Spence can fight at Cowboy Stadium. I mean, he sold out the Star like it was nothing, but I don't know how much attendance they can bring in there compared to,
Well, it depends who he fights.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's him, but that's who promotes for PBC is TGB. That's who promoted this fight here.
Could be the Mikey Garcia fight?
It could be, but it could be also be. It's Arlington, so they reserved Arlington. Yeah. So somebody could be fighting at Texas Live but this would be a smaller card, Texas Live at AT&T. It could be somebody. So we'll see. Yeah.
Quick question: would you rather see Mikey and Earl, or would you rather see Mikey and Lomachenko?
Because the size, I think there would be a more fair fight if it was between Mikey and Loma.
Exactly.
With EJ though, EJ's a really big kid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Actually, a big man. He's not a kid anymore. I forget that. He's grown now. He's a big man. That would be a huge difference. I'm a Mikey fan as much as I'm an EJ fan. But in that particular fight, there's, no brainer. EJ 100% because of size.
So when as y'all as being trainers and stuff, and you got Mikey that wants to go test himself to be great and fight EJ or Earl Spence, whatever, and you got that going on, but and then your trainer's telling you, Robert Garcia telling him don't do it, the dad's telling him not do it, but your fighter still wants to do it. As y'all, what are y'all telling y'all? Back them? Are you stopping around and say, hey, no, it's not gonna work out? Or
as a boxer, they want to fight. They want to fight everybody.
Right.
And it's up to us or the management to say who to fight and who not to fight because they'll fight anybody. Yeah. They've got that in them.
I agree with Shane. If your fighter does not think that he's the most chingon, there's no reason to be in the case.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
He has to believe that. Yeah. And Mikey believes that he's a dude that can beat anybody. He believes that, and that's what makes a good fighter. They believe that I'll beat anybody you put in front of me.
Yeah.
So you say it's a management. Manager will stop that, or trainers tell them, "Hey, don't do it," or I'm not gonna train you if you want to fight him.
You want your boxer to think they can whoop anybody. You want them to have that fire. You want them to have that in them, that confidence. But then you have to corral them and say, not now or later or whatever, or not at all. That's not the fight for you.
Did y'all?
I see you thinking all the time. Wait for you to say.
I'm gonna say something. Walter, and I like,
lost my train of thought.
No,
look over there.
I just went blank. I'm sorry.
Did y'all check out the?
Oh, I remember.
Go ahead.
So this is now, this particular fight is gonna be like the Canelo Mayweather fight. Even though Canelo lost the fight with Mayweather, Canelo was the winner. Because that's when he became a pay-per-view fighter. Oh, yeah. That's when he made the most money. And after that, he hasn't gone down on what he gets paid. So I don't know the numbers, but if in the Mayweather fight he made $5 million, since then he hasn't made less than $5 million.
No.
So with Mikey, even if he was to lose against EJ, he would still win. Because first of all, he will make good money. Second of all, he can say, well, I was smaller, so I don't lose that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a win-win situation for Mikey, no matter how.
Do you think
it's kind of like that.
Or do you think he'll go all the way? Or
I think he'll go to. I think he'll knock him out just because. EJ's body work
Maybe technical, maybe.
I don't think that's. I don't think. I mean, knowing Mikey though, the kid is an amazing technician in there.
He's elusive. He's very good.
He's a good counterpuncher.
He's very good
have to be careful with that.
At protecting himself to the body. If you watch his fights, when people try to go to the body, he's very good at protecting his body. Just pay attention, like seriously. Watch some of his other fights. And when people try to go to the body, he's very good at being elusive and not allowing people to touch his body. Just watch some of his fights.
And he's a good counter.
Yeah.
He has a hell of a punch.
But my thing is, would you think his power would carry up to 147? Because even when he fought at 140, his power wasn't there like he was.
Against someone like EJ, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Let me some chow meat.
Yeah.
Let him eat some chow meat. You know, probably get stronger.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like what you said.
Canelo.
It's kind of what you said earlier. Like if he goes up, you're not going to win or lose. All you can do is gain. It's kind of like with Kell Brook fought Triple G, and he went up,
That's
and he got a broken eye socket, but he gained fans, and because he tried to be great and do something that someone else would do. So yeah, I see what you're saying about that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, did y'all check out the Joshua fight last night? Or yesterday afternoon? Or what was it?
Yeah.
4:45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was. Yeah, I had the highlight knockout on my Instagram. That was pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty good.
Povetkin started off pretty good, but he
Yeah.
just didn't. He couldn't
Yeah.
have it keep going. I was like, I figured a knockout was going to come at some point.
Yeah. Anthony starts kind of slow at first, but
Yeah.
he builds that momentum. and
It's
then-
funny looking at him. It looks to me like an Incredible Hulk. Like
Yeah.
how big
Yeah,
he is.
I know.
The dude's
There's
humongous.
one thing that I noticed that right before the knockout, what had it started was, like you were saying, Coach Haas, right? How the jab is the key to open doors to get the power punches. And there was one where he kept on jabbing. I think he was jabbing to the head. I can't say the other fight. He had his guard up high, and then he came down to the body again. He came down to the bottom, boom, and hit it right in the top.
It was a setup.
Yeah, it was a setup. So that was just beautiful. You could just see the fundamentals when you start in boxing. You jab, and go down to the body. It was just the fundamentals, and it was good to see that. But yeah, it was a great fight. He won. So Joshua, they were saying how, and I think it's true. For a second, I thought he was too overhyped, but then I was looking, just watching everything he's done. Like he's brought boxing back to England.
Hey, did you see the attendance there?
88,000 people.
Was it 88,000? I was like, humongous. I was like, I couldn't imagine how many people were in that arena.
And then there's been there's a documentary on Netflix of AJ.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like it just talks about everything, how he's been.
What is there not to like about it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not to like about, but then 80,000 people at Wembley Stadium, which is one of the best soccer stadiums in the world. Man, you just got to give it up to him for having that, because like we always talk about, you got to sell yourself. You got to be the one that's going to bring people in the seats. Like Chavez doesn't, he can't fight, but he'll sell you a stadium. Let's talk about that.
You know that he filled out the Estadio Azteca in Mexico. I think it's 106 or 110,000 people at the Estadio Azteca once.
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah, that's it.
It's also, you can say about 80,000 people. And then that was in his 20. This is his 22nd fight. They were talking about that Wilder in his 22nd fight. He filled up a hotel room in Mexico with 2,000 people. Don't talk about Mexico, man. Don't talk about Mexico. I'm just saying, like they were just comparing both of their their status in the boxing game. And how one in his 22nd fight he had 80,000, and one for his 22nd fight he had 2,800. That's 10%.
Wow.
10%. So I mean, you could just see it, but.
I like him. I'm definitely a fan.
Well, it's not too bad, because with Joshua retaining, he has the IBF, IBO, WBA, and WBO. So all we need left is the WBC.
Yeah, but how did y'all watch the fight? Like, because I know it was the app only, right? The Zone app, or
I look it up online.
Yeah,
somebody was watching.
yeah, it's funny because I did a
Live stream.
I can't tell you my secrets now.
No.
That's how I watched the Canelo fight.
Oh, for real?
So Christine was in Mexico, and my cousin got married that weekend. So
Okay.
we were in Austin, so there was no way for us
We're
to
in
watch
the
it.
ghetto.
Yeah. So Christine's in Mexico, and I'm like, Christine, I can't make it. She's like, well, I'm watching it. It's free. I said, well, can you put it on your
WhatsApp.
So through WhatsApp, FaceTime me, and that's how I watched it.
Okay.
I was in the country.
No, because I watched the Joshua fight on Periscope, and there was like 50,000 people watching this on Periscope.
Yeah.
But if you had like a Fire Stick, you could watch it because it was on Box Nation, and so you could watch it through there. But you had to find a stream for it. But I was like, yeah, there's no way to really find, unless you pay for the app. There's no way to find a fight here locally. I mean, people were asking. I was like, the way I know is where you can watch that.
There's some people that were complaining about the app. They said that it was not working well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first time they do it. They're trying.
It's same with when Golden Boy went to Facebook. I think their first show was crashing a couple times there.
But now
So
they're
it's like,
getting better.
yeah, it's gonna take time
that's
to
the
get
way-
adjustment
that's
down.
the way of the future, you know?
Yeah, so that's what we discussed the last time we had our show before the Canelo recap. We have a show that it could be convenient for some, it could be not convenient for others.
Yeah.
You could be sitting on your couch and like, oh, you know what? I gotta go buy groceries, or you know what?
Yeah.
My
You
baby,
don't
I have to go buy
rush
some milk for my baby.
Yeah.
So we got it right here.
You're in the middle of dinner at
I think
a
it's just
restaurant.
something we just gotta adapt and we're not used to
Most
it, but we
definitely.
will, and maybe our kids.
Yeah.
will be like, I don't want to watch it on TV. I want to watch it on my mobile
Exactly.
device.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Maybe in 10, 20 years, it'll be an hologram where you will.
Right, you put your glasses on. Yeah,
you never know. You never know. But they did have that. Like just going back to that in the World Cup, a Belgian player was doing an interview. He was in Russia, and he had to do an interview for some people in England. And they did a hologram of him just sitting down. It was just him interviewing and.
Are you serious?
So, you know, guys, they
Yeah,
did
so-
an interview through a hologram in a different country. We need to get on that, guys. Right away, guys. Okay? Yeah, I'm just saying. Make it happen, guys. Make it happen. Just saying.
I got a black card.
Another thing we talked about in the intro was we lost a fighter, local. I guess he's from Fort
Yes.
Worth, Fernando Rodriguez. You knew him too, or
Fernando, he's from Dallas.
yeah, from Dallas.
Yes.
But I saw a couple. I didn't know him because it was way, I guess, before my time. But I saw pictures Stacy put up of him. Arnie was working the corners, and then Parra was there, and I think even Roger from R&R was in the corner too. But
Yeah, he started at Home of Champions.
okay,
Curtis Coates, Jim. A lot of greats have come out of Home of Champions. I mean, Mario Circus started there.
Yeah.
Is that
Adrian
in South
Taylor.
Dallas? That's in South Dallas,
Yes,
right? Right by some
yes.
apartments?
Yes.
Yeah, right in the middle of the
In
apartment.
That's the
apartments.
hood right
In apartments. And
Southside the Realest.
I don't remember Martin's last name. Martin came out of there, very talented. Martin Modest came out of there. Chris
you've seen that
Atkins
kid
came
fight.
out of there. You know, so whenever we were going to fight some of those guys, we knew we were going to have to fight. Those guys were tough. They
Yeah.
came out of the hood, you know. And we knew Fernando for many, many years. Actually, my son Jordan, who's now 27,
Okay.
we were going to fight Fernando when Jordan was like 15 or 16, his first open fight, and I was just like, oh, my gosh, not Fernando. You
Yeah.
know, Fernando was tough.
it's funny because with Jordan, I thought he was younger than everybody else. He's like,
looks
no,
so
yeah, he
young.
does.
Yeah, he has a baby face.
Yeah.
But, you know, Fernando, I call everybody a kid. He was a good kid. You know, we had a lot of talks. You know, I was always, I self-proclaimed the mother of boxing. I would always try to lift up the kids, whether they were from my gym or not. We always
Yeah.
tried to help other people from other gyms, whether they were from my gym or not. And I talked to him a lot and tried to uplift him and encourage him to stay in boxing and things like that. But unfortunately, you know, we lost him and it was buried. It hit really hard in the boxing community.
Yeah,
at the
because I
time.
saw a lot of posts about him. Nacho put something that y'all did, and then I saw the picture, like I said, Stacy's picture, but I guess he fought on Showtime before.
He
and-
did.
Did you look at his box record?
No, yeah, it was a.
He fought Benavides.
Yeah, I saw
He
the
fought
Benavides.
Orozco.
Yeah.
He fought, and out of all his losses, he only was not. He actually didn't get knocked out. He was a retirement on the 6th round.
Okay.
Because the kid was not in shape when he went to fight in Vegas.
Okay.
So the kid was tough.
Yeah.
And heavy puncher, loved the body shots. It was fun to watch.
You know, and I just have to say, we as a boxing community, you know, whether you own a gym, whether you, or if you're a trainer, or if you're in media, or a corner person, whatever, we have such a big responsibility because we meet so many, you know, kids, young
Yeah.
adults, and we don't know what their backgrounds are, but you know, anytime we have the opportunity to be positive, you know, one thing you're never going to find on In the Room with Christine is bad news about that somebody did something wrong or throwing stones at somebody, because we're about uplifting.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we don't know where they come from or what they've been through, and I just refuse to do that. And we all have the opportunity to talk to these guys and really help them through whatever they're going through, because he was tormented, and and boxing was his outlet. and you know, there's different vehicles that God uses to reach people. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I'm in this vehicle of boxing to help whoever it is that needs help, you know, on a serious note. And we have such a responsibility.
Yeah.
So, but that's my little 2 cents. But
Yeah, Hector Vasquez fought him, and he said the only time I broke anything was because I hit him in the head, and he had a very strong. He was very strong. Like, he had a very
solid.
solid.
I've
That's the
never
word.
seen
Like,
him put down or
He did
anything.
fight Hector.
yeah, and Hector said,
Actually,
he's
was
like,
there
remember this?
Yes.
He's like, remember this? He's like, I broke him because I hit him in the head.
Yeah.
And I hit him so hard, and I tried to, the same hit I hit anybody else was trying to knock out, they would fall to him. He would
And
not.
he would keep coming. He had this inside of him. He would not stop. He would not stop.
It's unfortunate it happened, but
It is.
but like I guess
Bless his
situations like this, you know, we all can learn from there.
Definitely,
Just, you know,
yeah.
like the boxing community, as coaches, as
Yes.
friends, as trainers, just
Yeah.
everybody
Yes.
can do this.
Definitely
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah, because I don't know when he stopped fighting. It was 2010 or something like that.
Yeah, he was on and off for them.
Yeah.
They just go for years.
We hadn't seen him for a few
Yeah,
years.
yeah, he's been struggling with so many things.
Yeah.
You know, in boxing attracts a lot of kids like that. Boxing is a sport that is always used as an outlet.
Yeah.
Christine and I, one of the reasons why we own our gym and that's what we do what we do
Yeah.
is because we believe that through that we can help people.
Yeah.
You know, we have the same example, you know, our gym with people that have come with the same backgrounds, either drug addiction, broken homes,
Gang members.
yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Everything.
And they use boxing as an outlet.
It's a poor man's sport.
Yeah.
It's a poor man's sport.
For sure. But there's also a lot of. It's a good way to release stress.
Yeah.
It's a good way to find a
Anger.
structure. It's
Yeah.
It's a good way to find family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One of the reasons why gangs exist is because people always looking
Yeah, family.
somewhere to
Yeah.
belong. And in boxing, that happens. You know, when you're in the gym, you're like, this is my family. Now you go to a fight, and everyone's screaming your name. You look and you're like, oh man, those are my people. You know.
Yeah.
So you're always looking for that. So that's what boxing is important for us because through that we can help a lot of kids and adults and whatever else.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the next part is interview you a little bit, both of y'all.
Yes.
Okay, so
No, you're fine.
We got as much time as we want.
It's
We-
knowledge.
No problems. Yeah. First of all, tell us about your new adventure. Like I said, we met y'all working the corners.
Yes.
Then you started doing Global Fight Talk probably about 2 years ago, back in June. About 2 or 3 years ago, and then I guess y'all decided to split and you went on your own. So what are y'all exactly doing? Like, you know, obviously doing media from what I've seen.
Yes,
and
yes. You know, I fell in love with media. I didn't even know that I would love media.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that everything that I've done, you know, has led me to this point.
Okay.
You know, just working every aspect of boxing, pretty much. And getting to know everybody over the years. I fell in love with boxing, you know, I guess at 6 years old. Both sides of my family have boxing in it, and I wanted to be a boxer, and all my kids boxed, and just the whole, I mean, I could just sit here all night long and tell you how we got into it, but, and so about 2 years ago, you know, I started doing some media and some radio and stuff like that, and I just did not realize how much I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, and then so, talking to my husband and then my partners that I have now, we just said, man, we can do this.
Yeah.
Let's just like do it and do it in a different way.
Yeah.
So we've started doing some interviews and started doing some things, and then we have some things that we're going to start in October that is
Okay.
just kind of new and different.
Okay.
We've started filming some things, and I had to go to Belize and I had to go to Mexico, so we just kind of like put it off for a little
Yeah.
while. But I'm back now, and so we're going to start filming some of that. But so we're on every social media site,
Yeah.
and the beautiful thing is that I guess we've been doing this for maybe 6 weeks now. How long have we been in the room with Christine? About a month? Yeah, about a month. And the outpouring of love has
Yeah.
been unbelievable. I've gotten so many text messages, inboxes,
Yeah.
emails. All the social media sites have really blown up.
That's good.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's
I
very
said,
good.
thank you, God. You know,
Yeah.
because of course, anytime you do something new, you just don't know how it's going to
Oh
go.
yeah, for sure. You're worried about that
Yeah.
failing. You're like, oh man, what if nobody?
And my husband thinks I'm crazy because I'm always like, oh, we're going to do this. Okay, you know, whatever. been really great.
So is there an easy way to still balance with training and then running this?
Because, because I run the gym on my own from 11 to 1, and I do personal training as well. And then whenever I'm free in the evenings when we're not doing the social media stuff, I help my husband in the evenings. And then for tournaments on weekends, we do that. And then as far as the pro stuff, we don't. They're here and there. Yeah. So everything is balanced. Everything is good. I mean, so far so good. Everything's working out.
That's good.
Not to pry too much, because I know you got big things happening and stuff. But you said in October you're releasing something different. Yes. So is that gonna be like interviews with different boxers, going to different gyms, or if it's a top secret, you ain't gotta tell us. But I just
it's not
wondering.
Top secret. The thing is that
let's take notes.
Take notes. It's we're gonna hit on different subjects because one thing that we want to do and that we're doing now is we want to help gyms. Yeah. We want to help promoters and we want to help boxers. Yeah. So we found a way that we can do that. And so I have connections. We have connections in different cities. And we even have some connections in some Latin countries. I'm learning Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Oh, you don't know Spanish?
Sí.
I don't know Spanish either, so I'm just saying it.
That makes three of us.
Yeah. That's the translator right there.
I'm a bilingual 5th grade teacher.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take notes from you. No, so it's so crazy because ever since we've gone off on this venture, people have been actually things that I didn't even think about doing with the show. People have contacted me. Hey, have you thought about doing this? Hey, have you thought about doing that? I'm just like, no, but let's do it. So now with the show, we're going to be able to help different gyms, different promoters, different boxers, different stuff. So that's kind of what we're working on now.
That's good.
So yeah, it's really cool.
And earlier you mentioned your gym.
Yes.
What is your gym? For people that don't know your gym.
Okay, so people that don't know my gym is Texas Select Boxing Club. We're nonprofit. So if you want to make a donation, hit us up. We're on Facebook, or you can just go straight to contact at In the Ring with Christine. Yeah, I remembered. Thank you, card.
That's it.
But yeah, so we have our address is 1918 East Miller Road, Suite 101, Garland, Texas. So we have a great bunch of gigs.
And that's Texas Select?
It's Texas Select Boxing Club, yes.
Yes. Please support, man. It's a wonderful family.
Thank you.
And we back y'all a lot,
Thank
you know.
you. We back y'all. It is such an honor to be on your show. This is the second time.
Yeah, it's such a, you came on the first time when you were fight time. And my thing is like, I like to get information. I like to find out the background of, we saw y'all around all the time. And so, my thing is that time there wasn't that opportunity for that because we were all giving our viewers a year in review. So it wasn't that,
we need to do again.
If you guys ever want to come to our gym to check it out, see some of the guys that we're working with, you're welcome anytime.
I have Wi-Fi though.
No, that's what we came here.
Somebody wants to sponsor us for Wi-Fi.
Come on, AT&T.
No Wi-Fi. Hey, dude, we're really paying the rent.
Like I said, non-profit.
No. you know what's funny? It's funny you said. We have to be some kind of crazy. Boxing is not one of those sports where you make money.
Yeah, for sure.
It's honestly is for the love of the sport, for the love of the kids and the community.
You can't get away from it.
No, dude.
You can't get away from it.
Like we spend hours and
and like you said, in pride to right now, you don't stop learning.
No,
you don't stop learning. I take in perspectives from everybody, just different point of views. I like to learn from the sport. Being part of the sport, and it's just a beautiful sport.
And I agree with you about the gym thing because me and bro and Jay do this. We make no money off of this. Everything we bought is our own equipment, and we're learning on the fly. We used to have be in the studio, and now we're here doing this, so we can take it anywhere we want to, and we're learning as we go along. So to us, it's like we're not making money off of this. It's all our money we're putting into it. So, but it's for the love of the sport. That's what it is to it.
We've talked about if we end up getting money, it won't be for us to go to Jamaica for a week.
Just 1 week.
It'll be for like maybe more equipment,
make it better stuff, make it improve the show pretty much.
And I say, hey, you know what? Like one of our ideas that we've been planning out for next year is, let's try to get a sponsor or let's try to raise some money for ourselves and let's go to a fight in New York, let's go to a fight in California, let's go to a fight in Las Vegas. Let's start doing these type of ideas. for us, or one of us can go, or three of us can go and just an adventure just to put our name out there.
Yes.
Now that social media is a platform that opens doors easily now.
Yes.
That's one of our biggest assets
Y'all
that
can
we
do
have.
it.
We don't have too
Y'all
far. I
can
was
do
talking
it.
to them earlier. There is the Oklahoma fight coming up.
Yes.
There is the Louisiana fight coming
Yes.
up. With,
There's a Showtime in
Oklahoma is going to be
Maurice Hooker and
Yes.
Maurice Hooker and
Salcedo.
Alex Salcedo. That's
that
that
fight?
fight.
There's no date. It was supposed to be November
That's what
24th.
they said, but I think it's going to
Yeah,
be
it's-
moved to.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah. But and then we have the Louisiana fight in New Orleans with Regis
Prograis.
and Terry Flanagan.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's a big fight.
I mean, let's try it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
It's a big fight.
Pack bags, let's roll.
Yeah.
I want to go to Salcedo Hooker fight.
Yeah, it'd be a good fight.
We should go.
What? Okay, Christine, how long have you been in boxing? Like how long?
Shotgun.
It's been 18 years
Okay.
since 2000.
Yeah, walking in here, like I said, I saw those pictures. You said that was your
Yes,
grandpa.
my grandfather was a professional fighter, Matt Martinez Sr.
Okay.
And on my dad's side, and then on my mother's side, Jesse Benavides. He was a world champion.
Okay.
And I will never forget. I was 5 or 6 years old, and I lived in Austin, and my uncle and my cousin and all his whole team came to spend the night. They had a boxing tournament. They had weigh-ins.
Okay.
And there were all these boxers on the floor spending the night, and then we went with them to weigh-ins and stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I was in heaven. I was a tomboy,
Okay.
and I have 4 brothers, and I was just like, I want to do this. Like, oh my gosh, and I'll just never forget that.
So did you ever box or?
I sparred, I trained, but by that time I was already older. I already had kids,
Okay.
and I was a ballerina, and so I didn't get the opportunity. Mom
Yeah.
was like, "You're a girl. You're not back then.
Back then it wasn't the.
No.
It's right now. It's very popular for any sport that
It's very-
females.
and I encourage
Yeah.
females to follow their dreams
Yeah.
and to do whatever they want to do. I really
Yeah.
do. But you know what? It's okay. I think I know I'm exactly where I need to be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I encourage women to do whatever they want to do.
Okay.
Women, men, to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. So
Whatever
when
they
then
do.
you Coach
I'm
House,
gonna be a ballerina.
I think you should.
Coach House, what's your background? Like when I'll ask you in a minute when y'all met, but what got you into boxing? What?
in the ring.
No, this is what we do in the ring.
This is the house, right? They're gonna ring in the garage too, right?
You know what? Honestly, no, I started boxing when I married Christine.
Okay.
The time that I met her, she was training. The boys were fighting at that time.
Okay.
And
Made me stop sparring.
And it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So the best way to do was to join forces and do it together.
No, that makes sense.
I don't have the background, and I think that's one of the things that makes it a little bit harder. So in my situation, I have to study a lot.
Yeah.
I'm the person that I'm always looking up different styles, different coaches, different techniques,
Yeah.
so I can get
Improve yourself,
I don't
basically.
have the experience.
Yeah.
I don't have the experience the other fighters or other coaches have.
Yeah.
They've been in the ring. I felt this. I know this, and I've done this before.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
With me, it's all about studying and trying the psychological part, studying that part, and
Yeah.
trying to understand the sport from their eyes.
Yeah.
And I can say that it has worked. So
The proof's in the pudding.
we have
Yeah.
a couple national champs. And,
Yeah.
So I think we get in there.
Yeah, that's how it is with us. Me and bro just been fans of boxing. Jade's been in the ring, so it just our feud helps us out with him knowing more of the part, the in the ring part. I'm like, we don't know, we've never been in there, so.
And it's weird because me and you sat and talked at Bomb Factory and Ray Jimenez fought, and me and you talked all night long, and I left there feeling so educated. Talking to you, it rubbed off,
You never said that about me.
Well, it's because like
Take him to your classroom and see that.
you're saying things that's making sense. I have questions that I don't know. Personally, I know trainers, but it was the environment we were in that night. It was just a good environment, and asking you questions, you're giving feedback, and it's just you have a lot of knowledge. And I left that event. I told my bro, like, man, I love to do a little sitcom with you or something like that. Like ask the corner, something like that, or ask the guy in the corner or trainer or whatever. Because I left knowing a lot just by talking to you. So
Appreciate it. You know what? I like to read, I like to watch, I like to learn. I don't, like I said, I didn't have the blessing to be able to get in the ring. Both of my parents were pastors. They were completely against violence, and boxing for sure is violent in their eyes. So there was
My
no
mom. That really is my mom.
yeah, so there was no opportunity. But like I said, since I don't have that perspective, I have to really work on my craft. I really have to study, and I really have to practice and learn. You know, so maybe in another 25 years, maybe 30 years, I can say, you know what, I'm a better coach now, but I'm still learning.
So where did y'all meet at?
We met at work. For me, it was love at first sight. I stalked him. I was like, I want you.
It's a curly hair, right?
It's a curly hair.
I was like, we're getting married. I don't know your name, but we're getting married. And so finally, after 6 months, he asked me out, and the rest is
history.
We work together. And you know what? I think one of the issues that works is because we're good friends. We love boxing the same.
Okay.
You know, a lot of coaches, and if you talk to someone, you understand what I'm saying. A lot of coaches will tell you that some of them has caused their marriage. Has caused their because
that's what I was gonna ask.
Because the amount of hours that you put up in the gym. I mean, I go to work, I come back home. I'm at home for about maybe an hour. Have dinner. If I take a nap, I take a nap, and then I'm at the gym from 6 all the way to about close to 9. Come home, take. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot. And then on the weekends, you have either sparring or you have tournaments and amateurs. And then if there's a pro fight, you've gone 2 days. So it takes a lot of time for me.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But because we are in this sport. So thank God, it works for both of us. So
and don't forget, what about if your boxer hasn't made weight? Oh, I got to leave a little bit early from work.
Yeah,
and
of
I have to
course.
stay with him for 2 or 3 hours to make weight. Amateur, professional. This is more important because this is important for you. But like that's one of the most things I was going to ask you. That the majority of the coaches that I've had, most of them say they're single. Or they've been divorced. I put so much focus in boxing.
They're married to
this
boxing.
is what I wanted to do. This is what I love to do. And I think you met my previous coach. We used to take the Anthony all the time to spar, Carlos Alano.
I recognize you. See, I was like, what I know this guy from? You were with Pablo, right? I remember. Well, I like Pablo. Dude. That guy knows so much.
And he's one of the. Prior with him, I was with Carlos Castillo here in West Dallas. I get that step out of Washington Club.
Of course.
He taught me the fundamentals, why the jab was important, the movement and everything. But with Pablo Cortez, I went from just knowing little to a lot. Like I was just doing amateur, and he had me fade, he had me focused and everything. I went from, I was telling that, he went from sparring the Dale Williams to slow-mo. Yeah, and I was sparring all them, and then at some point, they told me, you want to go help out Charles Hadley. But at that moment, I was really, really focusing. But then I had to figure out my personal life, like a lot of boxers do. Like, is this going to be for me, or do I might have to get my own career? So that's when I got into teaching. I focused more on that, and I stayed more away from boxing. But now I'm at Sweat Boxing Gym in Irving, Texas, with Hector Vasquez, and I'm there with him. And he's also
500 South Carolina.
he's also he opened the doors and. I was searching for a gym closer to home, and as soon as I walked in, and like I said, it was just a blessing. Being like I've told a lot of people, it's just been a blessing. Walked in there, he said, "Hey, you're a top boxer guy. You know what do you want?" And I got you. I'll take care of you. Anything you need. So from there, I actually learned so much. But Pablo Cortez, like he just a lot of little tricks that I learned from him. And you were there all the time because you would have ramen.
I'm a person that I believe that sparring. I mean, besides the meets and all the stuff that you do, the sparring is very important in boxing. So you always look for the best sparring you can get your fighter. See, I've seen this in other coaches where they like their fighters to spar the weakest sparring they can find, so the fighter can look good. See, I'm the opposite. I want my fighters to spar the best out there, so they can learn. You know? So one of the reasons why we always went to Pablo, because Pablo had good fighters. I know Pablo for many years. The guy knows a lot of tricks. I've seen him do things. A lot of things, working the corners, and so it was fun.
So built my confidence mentally, and that's another thing that as a boxer you gotta go into. There's things that, and he would have me sparring guys that were 200 pounds, and I was a 165 pounder. He would have me sparring guys from 180 to 200 pounds, and at first I was scared. I'm gonna be honest. At first on the man, I was scared, but he's like, you wanna know why? One, you're gonna work your defense, and two, he's like, you're gonna get hit by the guys at your weight. You ain't gonna feel it because these 200 pounds, you feel them. But the 165, you're gonna feel them more. It made a big difference. But I've always, there's a lot of tricks that he showed me, and like you were talking about having high guard and the jab to the high guard, but didn't really count. He would teach me how to move that away and just stuff like that. I'll take you to Sweat Boxing. You want to learn more with Hector too, and Coach Knuckles, Listos dad. So I mean, I enjoy learning, and like you said, I study too. I actually have a book. I haven't had the opportunity to finish it because I was reading another one of soccer.
You probably have time once the kid comes. So.
Yeah, I probably won't. Maybe when I'm watching him now, I won't go to the gym anymore as much as I would. But I have 4 Kings when it was Ray Leonard, Mano de Piedra, Duran, the other fighters that would fight all in the prime back in the 80s. It's called the 4 Kings, and I'm reading that one too, just learning more of the background of each all of them. But yeah, I mean, it's good. And even like Chris said, like when I go to fights too, I sit down with some media people or some coaches. I just sit there, hey, with this and that. What do you think about that? What do you think he's doing? Why do you think he's doing? So can't stop that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So who, in y'all's view, who is some of the best trainers out there right now?
Amateurs or pro?
Pro, say pro. I mean, pro's gonna be more notable than people knowing.
I would like to know both. I would like to know both. Amateurs and pros. This might start a little bit of conflict here.
No comment.
I think in the amateurs locally, there's, I mean, Dallas has always had really good coaches. Hector Beltran out of Rivera.
Oh, for sure. Hector
good
Beltran.
coach.
The person that taught me all my basics and really helped me was Alton from Young Guns.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started, he was the only one that really took the time. And when I first started sparring and even like wrapping hands and stuff like that, he was really patient with me and helped me and taught me all my basics. He's just old school.
Yeah.
Shout out Alton from Young Guns, and so I really admire him and love him. And he really helped me and taught me.
Man, there's a lot.
There is a lot.
Paul Vasquez.
Paul Vasquez helped me as well.
Coach
Paul
Coach
Vasquez.
Paul.
Cliff, right?
No, he's from Garland.
Yeah, he's in his 70s now, so we know a lot of the older.
Dennis, actually.
Honestly, I love the old school coaches.
We know the older.
Yeah.
We have a lot of respect for them.
Coach Powder, you remember?
Pat Powder.
From
He's
Oklahoma.
almost in his 90s.
He's in his 90s. So
Pat
that makes
Powder.
all the needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's insane.
So yeah.
Derek James.
So we know a lot of.
professional.
Yeah.
That's a good coach.
Yeah.
That's a good coach. I like locally. Let me see in the amateurs. Vincent Parra for sure.
Oh yeah, Vincent Parra, Maurice's trainer.
Ray Jimenez's dad, really good guy.
Yes.
Amateurs. Another guy that I admire a lot is George Melendez.
Yeah.
Dallas Bell.
Dallas
that
Bell.
man has done these fighters.
Yeah, he
amazing.
has.
Lots of talent, lots of technique.
I know as soon as I leave, I'm gonna be like, oh.
Yo, what is this person?
And I hope to God if I'm behind it, it's not on
I'm gonna
purpose.
ask you. How many?
Roger out of Iron R, very
Yeah,
talented
Roger,
guy.
Yeah.
for sure.
I see him all the single times in everybody's corner.
Coach
Yeah.
Robert from Urban Pal.
Urban Pal, yes.
I know
Coach
that
Solis.
Yeah.
Solis. Man, there's a talent. Dallas has a lot of
Which is good for people that want to get in boxing. I mean, there's so many gyms everywhere. It's a lot. Like I see that Garland has a PAL, but I don't even know if they're open. I don't ever see.
They do. They have they have a lot of coaches, but I think one of the best coaches out of that gym will be Americo Santos.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah.
I mean, good coach, and he's got his son. Actually, his 2 sons, RG and Americo Jr. Doing in the amateurs. Those kids were
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And in the pros,
I think RG's a trainer now. I think.
yeah, he's helping. He's helping. Yeah, but his dad is really good.
So
yeah.
what do you think takes to be a good trainer?
I think you have to teach the basics. I think you have to have patience. You have to have patience because you got to teach the footwork. You got to teach the defense. You have to teach.
I think being a good teacher
Okay.
makes a difference.
Yeah.
A lot of
teacher.
coaches out there have the experience. A lot of coaches out there have boxed before. I hear this before. Oh, I've boxed before,
But
so
they
I know
can't
more.
teach.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that even though you've been in their ring, does that make you a good coach automatically?
Yeah.
You have to be able, and you as a teacher understand what I'm saying, you have to be able to make your point across and for the person to understand
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
mean.
Yes.
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? It's like, well, this is how I used to do it. No, it doesn't work like that. You have
Because
to know why.
everybody works differently, so it doesn't
Can
mean.
you explain
Yeah.
why?
That's the first thing. The second thing,
Yeah.
you have to know and understand your fighter. I have 11 kids, right?
Yeah.
Out of my 11 kids, only 3 haven't fight or boxed.
Yeah.
Alicia, Maya, and Tyler. The rest of them, they all box. Each one of the kids has a different style.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right? So what Christopher does, D'Anthony cannot do, Michael cannot do. I mean, every single kid comes with their own set of skills.
Yeah.
So as a coach, you have to be able to identify that part.
Okay.
If the guy can be a boxer, or is he a puncher? Is he going to be a brawler? Is he going to be able to move backwards? So every fighter, you have to teach him different.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that makes a difference. You can't teach every single fighter. Like imagine I have out of my 8 kids that fought, that everybody learned how to fight like Christopher fought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Like
like
if you have more than one kid, I mean, they're not.
And plus, some are going to need more attention than others. Like it's just basically like teaching. Some kids, they're fast learners. Some people aren't. They need more time, learning stuff. So sometimes you might need a little extra effort or get them, like you were saying, to comprehend what you're trying to get them to do. So I understand that.
Just a quick question. Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia, father and son relationship, whatever. But Angel has said in an interview that he might not come back to fight to train Danny because Danny does not listen to him. His voice is not prevalent in that corner no more. What happens with that? What happens there? He just got too complacent, or he just comfortable? Y'all tell me as trainers. I don't.
For me, with that, like a lot of people say blanket statements, father and son relationships don't work. Well, that's not. You can't just say that for everybody. I think it depends on the dynamic of the relationship. For me, in my opinion, his dad has a big mouth, and his dad's not the one in the ring. I think he gets ahead of himself. And so I think that the respect has been lost. And so once it goes that far where you're having to turn around and like tell your dad to be quiet or calm down or whatever, and you're focused more on that than what you're supposed to do, how can you focus? How can you concentrate on what you have to do? And I think that's what's happened, in my opinion.
And it is true, and I agree with Shane. Another thing that if you watch the fight, and one of the things that I do a lot, and it's not secret, and I think you guys, whenever I watch a fight, one of the things that I like the most is listen to the corner.
Okay.
Whenever, even at home, when we're watching a fight, I tell the kids, you be quiet. Because I'm what they say.
Yeah.
A lot of time you hear this, get in there, do your thing.
What does that mean?
That's not instruction.
Yeah.
When you come to the corner, there's a lot of things you have to know. How long do you have to come in from the breathing part? Yeah. So he has to come and say, he kept saying, okay, deep breathing, you do 2, okay, hold your breath, okay, done. So that's the first 5 seconds. After that, when he comes down, he only is going to listen to you for the next maybe 15 seconds. So the instructions have to be, okay, dude, you're getting hit a lot with the jab.
Yeah.
Move your head, and when you move your head, come back with the right. Okay? Walking backwards, done. You cannot go more. And then, so when you work in a corner, there's a lot of things you have to learn how to say it and how fast you have to say it.
Yeah.
If you watch the fight with Danny, when he comes to his fighter, he was like, just throw the effing right. Just throw the... There was no instruction. There was nothing. It was just... Honest to you, there was... I think what happened is that the fighter has outgrown the coach.
Yeah.
So at this point, the guy needs another corner because there is no instruction anymore. If you want to come to a corner and used to give you water to tell you, hey, throw the right.
I think that his father is only watching him. When you're in the corner, you have to be watching the other person.
Yeah.
You have to see too. What is he doing? Yeah. And what is the other guy doing? What is effective? That is hurting your guy. What is he doing well over there that's hurting your guy and making your guy lose the fight? But if you're just watching your guy and focus on him or whatever, then you can't be given good instruction. So. I don't know. I think what you said about him outgrowing the corner is right on.
And then you see all the examples. For example, you have Samuel Clarkson and Alex Clarkson, father and son in the corner.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the same person.
Yeah,
I know. It just pops there.
And then Ray Jimenez,
and Listo and his dad.
So there's a lot of those teams out there that
really
really work.
Yeah.
But then it happens. It so happens that they outgrow each other.
You're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that
comfortable.
could be.
It's not always good to be comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got one more question. Will be I was at the Bomb Factory when Chris fought there, and y'all in the corner, and everything. How tough was that for y'all to stop that fight? Because I'm keeping it real with y'all. Yeah. He was there. He looked like he was a little out of shape, and he was getting handled up pretty well. And as y'all being there and this trainer and y'all, this kid and everything with y'all, and what do y'all? How much more do you give him? You say, hey, I have trust in my son. He's gonna do good. He's gonna do right. Next, one more round. But when is y'all gonna when do y'all pull the plug? And say, you know what? We're done with this. And how hard is that for y'all to do that?
Well, this is kind earlier when you asked us about listening, when we talk about the fighter that says I'll fight anybody, I can fight anybody, and it's up to us, the trainer or the manager, to say yes or no. Well, and that there's been 2 instances, one with D'Anthony when we fought Maurice Hooker, and then this fight here where we listened to our boxers that said, even though we knew better and we let them take the fight, even though we knew better. There's been 2 instances in our whole career, I believe, that we went ahead and listened to them, and it won't happen again.
So you're talking about you're listening to your boys. They were like, yes, I can take this, I can do it.
Instead of our own
judgment.
We knew better, our own judgment, and so he didn't want us to. He wanted to do it, and it was very hard, not only because when we're in the corner with our sons, we have to take off the mom and dad hats.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to do that sometimes, but you have to do that. But also, we treat every one of our fighters as our own sons, because we would not do anything to our fighters that we wouldn't do to our own sons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would not let one of my fighters that are not my birth child get hurt in a fight if I can stop it.
Yeah.
So I did to him what I would do to any of my fighters. We had to stop the fight. We had to say enough was enough, because he was not going to win that fight.
Yeah.
And we were not going to let him get hurt, even though I knew that when he was in shape, he would have whooped that kid's ass.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
Yeah.
So we had to stop the fight.
Yeah. It is. You have to see things clearly. You have to understand what's going on. As coaches, you have to be in tune with your fighter, and you know what's going on. We knew the condition that Chris was coming in.
Yeah.
Besides being our fighter, he's also our kid. So we always use boxing in a way for him to stay going the right, doing the right things and whatnot. We knew his talent, and Jay, since you're friends with Hector, you can ask Hector. Hector remembers Christopher. EJ, if you guys ever remember, you can ask EJ about Christopher. They fought each other with Hector, with EJ. Christopher fought late enough times. Dude, that kid is an insane fighter, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of talents, lots of power, but in boxing you need 100%. It's a very jealous sport.
Yeah.
It's not a sport that you can do part-time, and
Yeah.
it's either you do it or you don't.
Yeah.
And it shows because you're by yourself.
And you win matches in your own gym. That's what Mike Tyson said. The hardest part was the training.
For sure.
The easiest part was the fight.
For sure.
Training.
So,
I believe that's.
No, I agree with you. So it was hard, definitely hard, because knowing the talent and not taking away nothing from the kid that we fought. The kid was good, but not on Christopher's level, right?
Yeah.
So when you're like, man, I need to do it. We don't want him to get hurt. So that's the hardest part, knowing that your kid has everything and anything to be great, but then you have to stop the fight because there's no gas left. So yeah, definitely.
And part of this sport too is being able to eat humble pie. As great as it is to win, you also have to know how to take a defeat.
Yeah.
It's so funny because there's times we'll be somewhere and someone will, like, babe, why are they looking at us crazy? Oh, don't you remember in 2004 when we beat their kid? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was
your memory right there.
Yeah. It's like, we've lost, and we shake your hand. We're gonna shake your hand.
Yeah.
We're gonna congratulate you. It's okay. We're gonna keep going, and I think that we have to be that way. We congratulated the kid, and did I, in my mind, say, man, on a different day we would have beat you? Yeah, we would have. But, it was his day, and I congratulate him. And it is what it is.
That's one thing that's bad about boxing, too, is you can go to work, your real job, and you can have a bad day. But in boxing, if something's on your mind, shit's happening at home, you got to leave that shit out of the ring. You got to try to keep that out of that part of mind and still go over there and whip somebody's ass, pretty much. So it's very hard. I know it's pretty sure it's a hard part of.
Yep.
That's a beautiful sport.
It's mind, body, and soul of boxing. I mean, everything's got to be aligned. Everything's got to be aligned.
Well, I got another question. It's gonna be we need word on Samuel Clarkson. Anything about him getting back in the ring? We have him. Last time he fought was in April 26, 2018. So he's been out of the ring for a while, and he's an exciting fighter, and he's a good fighter. And I just Main event.
He's not. He hasn't fought not because he doesn't want to. It's because things always happen in boxing. You know what it is? Nobody wants to risk their fighters. Alex is one of those guys that a lot of power, a lot of speed. Dude, even to do meets with him is so hard because, dude, he's a huge guy. He's a 200-pounder that moves and throws like a 106. A lot of speed is insane. So it's very risky. So we have calls to fight big names out there. People out there with titles, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. We're willing to fight anybody. Alex is one of those fighters that he'll fight whoever you put in front of him. And we have said yes. They called me. They called that and said, hey Sam, we got. We don't need to say names, but so he has a title, he has a WBC Intercontinental. You want to do it? We're like, yeah, we'll do it. They come back to you, no, they say no. And it happens all the time. All the time. Nobody wants to fight, man. Everybody's scared. Everybody wants to keep their own. Everybody wants to have a perfect record. And they're not willing to get a real fight, man. There's, I mean, plenty of calls. I'm telling you, lots of calls, and people don't want to fight. So
because we seen it when we fought Bivol. And he got knocked down, but he kept on getting up and getting up. You can see the fight in the kid. Well, now he's a grown-ass man, but you can see the fight in him. It's like the dude has some. He has heart. He wants to fight. And we've seen him a couple times fight. I enjoy watching him fight. He comes in. He's
very charismatic.
Yeah, and I see him in the locker room. He's dancing, having a good old time. So good. He's good. I enjoy watching him fight. So
we might be fighting. I don't have the exact date. I was talking to his coach and that a couple days ago. We fight in November. We fight in New York. There's the opportunity, and I think it's going to happen for the. Alex has a WBC Intercontinental title right now, but we have it as a cruiserweight when he's a real light heavy. So we're actually going to fight for the WBC light heavyweight.
Okay.
Hopefully November, early next year. But no, there's a lot of things coming up, so we're excited to.
Okay, and any of your kids fighting anytime soon? Or?
D'Anthony is going to possibly be fighting on Michael Montoya's card. And then
is there a date for that yet or no?
I'm sorry?
Is there a date for that yet or?
They're still working on it.
Okay.
I've been talking.
I know I saw a picture of Holyfield come up on one of his things, so I'm like, man, I hope he comes. I was telling him I got an autograph poster of Mike Tyson and him. I said I seen Holyfield. I got Tyson's autograph, but I need Holyfield on that poster too.
Yes, it's gonna happen. I need to talk to him where he's working on the date and stuff like that. He's got a really good deal. He'll talk about it.
Yeah, because I know it also costs that Boxeo was having a card.
They're having a card
in December.
Yes, in December. Yes, and Alex, the Bosque will be on the card too.
Yeah, I would imagine it.
Yes, but and then Jordan, I just talked to Matchmaker. He'll be fighting in November or December. Also, I'm not sure where that card is going to be. I'm talking to Matchmaker right now too.
Okay.
And we talked to Jordan at Maple, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, Maple. Yeah.
Very well. He's well spoken.
Thank you.
Very he's years ahead of himself because he just speaks so well and so.
And it's funny because he made sure he put Global Fight Talk. I say, we'll support it.
Yeah, he came on plugging it, but that's cool.
So it's funny, but
now he'll be saying in the ring with Christine.
Yeah, in the ring with Christine.
And it's in the ring with Christine. It's just are you gonna be a show or just you're just gonna?
We're gonna do interviews. We're gonna have a show.
I don't want to pry too much again. 'Cause I know it's top secret.
No, it's not. It's really not top
secret.
I'm just teasing.
Oh, okay.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm really funny. No, we're gonna have segments. We're gonna have different segments, and we're gonna have the different segments about gyms and boxers and promoters and things like that, and different days and different topics on the different days. And that'll be coming out really soon. But we will have show. We are going to do a live show once a week. That'll be coming out in October. We're still trying to decide the day. It won't be on Sundays.
Oh, thank you.
Are you going to go back to what's called the Eargasm or no?
No.
So you're doing your own thing.
We're not going to be doing radio.
Okay.
I think that we're going to be. I think just Facebook and then SoundCloud and our different Instagram and stuff like that. We just get more views and more hits.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I really do. I think that this is the way of the future.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
You know,
so everything's going just to apps
not
or
me
anything.
personally, but my people
Yeah.
have done, some research, and it's just really, I think even internet radio is just kind of a thing of the past. And
Right.
I think even podcasts are the new thing too.
Yeah.
So
It is so much easier to plug it in your ears and just go on about your
It really
business
is.
instead of actually watching the video. So it's so much easier.
exactly, most definitely. So we're trying to get with the end times.
Yeah.
All right. And one more time, plug that plug your stuff,
Social
your
media.
social
Yeah,
media.
So in the ring with Christine, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and get the alerts. We're on Instagram as well. On Twitter, I'm not really good at Twitter, but I'm learning. I'm starting to see people retweeting my stuff. I'm like, yes. And then of course on Facebook. And we have a lot of exciting stuff coming. And we have had some stuff on there now and some great interviews. So please.
Yeah, as YouTube, I seen the interviews. It was great. I saw,
Thank you.
and I saw you did the orange card exclusively.
Yes.
So I was like,
you know
that's the only
what?
time. That's the first thing I noticed when y'all changed. When you went on your own, it was that one. I was like, and then I saw it.
Yes, that was so nice.
Yeah.
It was such a privilege and an honor.
Yeah.
That I
How was
got
that
to
card? Because I
choose
know
all
what
that.
Fernando
It
fought
was
on there.
really
Manuel got to
great.
fight, get back in the ring.
It was really great.
And also, I know Manuel took a break because he just had a kid.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, Manuel was on the card.
Yeah, it was his first
Yeah,
fight
oh,
back.
yeah,
He took a break since he had his. I think he had his son.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
Everybody did great.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
told him
great
it was
card.
funny. I told my bro, I said it was weird seeing him because he cut his long hair off.
Yes.
I was like, is that Manuel? I was like,
He
it's
looks like a
different.
dad now.
Yeah, it's so funny.
No, everybody did great. It was a great card. It was a great show. It was just really, I wasn't even really like prepared. So it was very generic. I was like, oh my gosh, Gonzo, we got to work on something quick. He's like, we're not ready. I was like, I don't care. Just let's do it. But it was really fun.
That's
So,
very good. That's very
yes.
good. I think that's about it for the
Wait,
show.
let me throw a couple things in there quick. Lance Plugmeyer of LA Times is saying that Triple G Canelo Part 2 had between 1 million and 1.1 million pay-per-view
I
buys.
was wondering the number was on that.
And another thing is that Wilder Fury is official for December 1st. No location yet.
New York, I think it's New York.
Possible
New York.
Right?
It's
possible
New York.
undercard is going to be Santa Cruz and Gary Russell, Mares and Gervonta Davis, but it's not official yet. But that's what the word we're
Davis said
hearing.
he has a fight December 2nd or whatever it is. I think it's
December 1st. So
Yeah, it's for, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We believe it's-
we don't
we
know
believe it's that,
if
yeah.
it's together.
Okay.
And I do believe it's going to get together because they're trying to make it a pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You know, so
Yeah.
and I think if you put all those three fights together,
Yeah.
and then that makes
Then
makes
it
Oh, yeah,
sense.
for sure. Yeah, have a great card. Yeah, to get it back. This will be Wilder's first pay-per-view, so it's got to be,
It had to be somebody.
yeah, some good undercard to be able to put it out there, which is good.
and if Wilder wins that means that'll be Wilder and Joshua for that WB for all the
unified
belts. So
division.
hopefully that goes through and gets
Who do
it.
y'all have on that one?
Joshua.
I'm gonna go. You got Joshua?
I got Joshua.
I go Wilder because he's from
Yeah.
the United States. I wouldn't go vote against
You
that, but
can't go against your country.
nah.
I'm better with money, so I'm taking Joshua.
What you got, Jay?
Man, that's gonna be kind of tough, but I think Wilder. Well, no, maybe Joshua, because Wilder's more of a brawler and Joshua's more of a boxer. I know Joshua doesn't have a chin. Wilder, I don't.
Well, how does he prove that he doesn't have a chin?
Yeah, I don't think he has a chin. I'm kind of read.
Klitschko dropped him, but he got back up.
But Klitschko's a heck of a
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure is.
And he got up
I've
and
read that
finished.
he doesn't have a chin.
I think if nobody has a chin, they kind of be like
No,
Wilder.
I
'cause-
haven't really. To be continued.
And what do y'all say?
Baby,
Dude, I like them both.
do you
Both are.
really?
I do. I like Joshua. I think he's very talented, more as a boxer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do like a lot Wilder. The kid has a lot of you know what?
She knows something.
I didn't like him at the beginning because the way that he carries himself. But when you meet people that been around him and they tell you, the guy is a humble dude. He helped his community. He's all about his daughter, and then he's like, man, I kind of like this guy. And then after the fight with Ortiz, that I believe he was losing,
he was for sure, yeah.
he gets hurt, and he's able to recover and finish the fight the way he did it. I mean, honestly, there is no more than like the guy. And then he finished the fight, and he's like, hey, I know you had a daughter with some illness. I have a daughter with illness. Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, it was like, it was a gentleman move, and I really appreciate that. So in that fight,
That's the biggest thing is that he doesn't like for nobody to talk about his daughter, bad about his daughter. That one, there's one media guy that he beat the shit out of because he's talking bad about his daughter.
So for that reason,
Yeah, he made him sign a waiver. That's all that matters.
But then he was talking about somebody's kid too.
oh no, he's crazy. I mean, he still has to sell
Babe,
fights.
babe.
But so to me, it's a 50-50.
Well, our house is divided again.
Right.
I mean, I love my country, but
Yeah.
I'm going with Joshua.
So, but my thing is, okay, where would they? If they put that fight together, Joshua still can sell.
It has to be in England.
Yeah,
It has
Joshua
to
can
be.
sell some tickets.
It has to be.
So I mean, that's my view on it. It's gonna have to be.
And I think that's one of the reasons why the fight didn't happen, because they didn't agree on where the fight was gonna be and the money split and all that good stuff. You know, honestly, Joshua does not need long.
No.
Well, Anthony can keep fighting in England, make his money, and we're done. He doesn't need it. So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Walter has to
Go-
give
yeah,
up and
yeah.
just go get it from him. If that's the case.
That makes sense.
And once again, we're reporting live at Matt's Tex Mix, Lakewood, 1904 Skillman Street, Dallas, Texas, 75206. That's Matt's Tex Mix. The other locations in Garland, 5085 North George Bush Freeway, Garland, Texas, 75040. Garland, Lakewood, Matt's Tex Mix.
Throw so on a queue.
That's it.
So no. How long have y'all had this restaurant? Like, how long is this restaurant? How long have y'all been here?
Oh gosh. Yeah, since 1985.
Oh, okay.
But originals in Austin. For
Okay.
60 years.
It's 60.
What? 2012.
That's a
I
beautiful restaurant.
just want to thank you for your hospitality,
Yeah,
for
thank
bringing
you
us
so
out
much
here and
for
let us open the doors for us and
I think
everything.
y'all need to go grab a table and eat.
I think so too. I think I might grab some to eat.
Just one more time, plug that one more time, your social media so everybody knows it and just it doesn't hurt.
In the Ring with Christine. You can catch us on SoundCloud. You can catch me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Tweet, tweet.
All right.
Thank you guys so much, and I just want to throw something out there. If if you have an iPhone, if you have an Apple, make sure when you go to the podcast, search us on Real Talk Boxing, and please give us a rate. Please let it be
Yes,
more
five.
than about 5, preferably. I've been telling my friends to please rate us, and we get more publicity when you
Right.
go. When you go, if you give us, if we get more subscribers and we get more stars, if you just type in boxing on podcast, our show will pop up.
Already.
If you don't get no subscribers and no support, our show will not come up. So
Yep.
What is it at?
or you go to the podcast, and you just type
iTunes. Go to iTunes.
the podcast. There's a podcast. app.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
just
you
go
don't
to
have
the,
have
it's
it.
green, right?
You can
Oh,
go
you
to
go to
iTunes.
iTunes too?
You just rate it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
okay.
go to iTunes.
All
Just
right.
rate it.
So then you go to iTunes or the podcast app, and you type in Real Talk Boxing, spaces Real Talk Boxing. Our show will come up there, and then you just press 5 stars, and automatically it'll be submitted.
Oh, yeah.
We do appreciate everybody for tuning in.
And you are?
And what?
And you are?
Oh, and I am Jay Martinez. I'm one of the co-hosts here. It's been fun. It's been a learning experience having a couple women, a media, a wife, a lot of things that she does.
A lot of hats she wears. She wears a lot of hats.
So a lot of information we have, and it's been a good show. And I have a blessed week, and that's it. Cowboys.
My name's Chris. My good friends call me Main. That's Main. On all social medias, check me out, Mr. Mainzilla, Mainzilla23. It's been another great show, man. Thank you again, Christine, for being here. Thank you, Coach Haas. Thank everybody here. And a lot of knowledge on that side of the table. I'd say a lot of knowledge. It's a true blessing to have y'all here with us. And this won't be the last time.
Thank you. Would love to come back.
And I think that's it. I'm Robert Reyes, obviously. I think our next show is, I think we got it scheduled for October 21st with Charles Hadley. Hopefully that works out.
But
So,
we will be doing some.
oh yeah, we'll do some.
be doing some
yeah,
weekly
we're gonna
ones.
do some
We're gonna-
just iTunes podcasts and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
so we can get
More
just
stuff going
exclusive
on the
out
show.
before we try to do a show weekly. But yeah, just make sure you're following us for all your social needs, for your boxing needs, Real Talk Boxing.
Education
And,
needs too.
and we're Real Talk Boxing. Real Talk for real boxing fans.
Love it.